What's up YouTube, the Kid's Good here, and I am here today to make a video about the best way and safest way to secure a win. So if you feel like that you can gain something by watching these videos on how to secure easy wins and how to improve your gameplay overall, be sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, because I'm going to be posting a whole lot more content. Because my goal is to help all of you secure more wins. I've seen a lot of you out there that have played several hundred hours and still haven't gotten a win, so I wanted to go over what I would assume to be the easiest way to get a win. In my opinion, the easiest way to get a win is you want to jump at I would say the back 33% of the path. Because when you jump in the front 33% or even in the middle of the map, you have a lot more people who are tempted to jump there. So when you jump at the back part of the route, you're less likely to run into a tremendous amount of people. As you can see in this clip, Greasy Grove was at almost towards the end of the plane path, or the bus path rather, and only one other guy, at least that I could see, came here. And so I know that I have a really good shot at being able to at least beat him, and then by the time I rotate out of here, we're down to about 50 people, 40 people, and you just have a much better shot at that. So far, as you can notice, I came in through the roof, and I am tearing the house down to almost bare walls, and the reason I want to do that is because, you know, when you land at a house and you know somebody else landed at a house, you're both going to leave that house at about the same time, and the worst way to die is if you get into a fight and you don't have enough materials. So I only feel comfortable at about 150 to 200 materials, which is why you can see here I am knocking down trees, because before I get in this fight, I want to have at least 200 materials. And so I always want to aggressively go ahead and take this person out, because I don't want to be caught off guard. I want to be the aggressor when I know there's only one or two people in the area that I've landed at. I definitely don't want to play on the defensive. I want to catch them off guard, get them rattled, and then continue to loot up and get everything I need. So as you can see here, I'm gonna try to lead with the blue silenced SMG, which right now is pretty broken. And it has first shot accuracy. Clearly my shot sucked there, so I wasn't able to get it. So here I also want to gather the high ground. I don't want to come down to his level. I don't want to give him any kind of height advantage. I'm throwing grenades because I want to hopefully get a lucky shot. He obviously throws the stink bombs. He's trying to push me back. Now what he should have done was he should have thrown these to push me back and then gotten aggressive and built towards me. But for whatever reason, he takes too long to do it. I continue to have the height advantage, and ultimately it ends up me killing him. So at this point, I've taken him out, and as far as I know, you never want to assume, but as far as I know, it was just me and him here. So I'm kind of free to loot, and I want to get all the loot I can before I leave here. I want to be pretty prepared. Now, if you're going for a high kill game, I would have already kind of started to rotate out of here. I would have went to Shifty, I would have went to Tilted, I would have went somewhere else, seeking the rotations out of those bigger places. But that's not what this is about. This is about securing the safest win, and that's going to be about, you know, playing safe, you know. You want to still play aggressive when it makes sense, but you don't want to play overly aggressive. You know, like I said there, I mean, I could have ramp rushed towards him. I could have played that a lot more aggressive, but I played it relatively passively, and I maintained the high ground. So, I mean, you know, like I've obviously passed up several ARs. In my opinion right now, in the current meta, I want to keep using the silenced SMGs. I think that they are so much better than the ARs, because the bloom on, you know, ARs is pretty bad right now. The only time I consider picking up an AR over a silenced SMG is, first off, if I don't have a blue silenced SMG. If I have that, I'm probably not going to pick up any AR, gold scar included. But if I've got a gray or a green, I might pick up a scar, but even then, you know, because my optimal loadout is going to be, you know, something like a silenced SMG, a shotty or a Tommy gun, a sniper, explodes, and meds. You know, the silenced SMG, I mean, you can pretty much long range people with that gun if you've got a decent shot, and that's why the sniper rifle comes in the third slot, because if they're too far, then, you know, obviously we can take sniper shots at them. So I'm gonna continue to gather materials. I want to leave this place with a lot of materials because, you know, another part of playing safe for the win is you don't want to be caught off guard. You don't want to be out in the middle of a field where you know there's possibly going to be people and you're sitting there trying to knock down trees. That's just not the safest bet in my opinion. So I'm going to keep looting up. I'm looking for a sniper right now. You know, I usually don't feel comfortable if I don't have a sniper because if I get into a long-range fight with somebody or they have the high ground, because if somebody has the high ground and you don't have a jump pad to regain that, or you can't build back to them and you have to get into a fight with them, you're going to want a sniper. In my opinion, I think that's my favorite weapon in the game, probably right now behind grenade launchers, which are overly broken right now. But I always do want to try to carry explodes if I can because of how broken they are. And, you know, Epic talked about how they wanted to nerf building, and people were saying, oh, they're going to bring out materials, and, you know, you're not going to get as many materials from trees. I think a lot of what they're doing is they are putting in the weapons and giving the buffs to the weapons that bring down structures so easily. I mean, I can't think of the last time I got into a huge build fight because of the new meta of SMGs. All right, so hold on. I hear a guy, or at least I thought I heard a guy over here. But you know, the huge boost in SMGs, the addition of the Tommy gun, the boost in the splodes. I mean, it's not all about nerfing the materials, but I think they're nerfing building by doing it with guns that bring down building. And you know, in the new update, you can notice every time you try to ramp rush someone, I mean, your structures usually come down pretty quick, even if you are enforcing those with a ramp wall technique. So we're leaving Greasy. You know, I've got pretty decent loot. I've got most of the guns I need. I'd like to swap my Tommy gun for a sniper if possible. But I'm not being aggressive and rushing straight for the fights. I could have went in between Shifty and Tilted. Had I been playing for high kills, I would have rotated in between there because I can usually catch people leaving Shifty. I can usually catch people leaving Tilted. But I'm trying to play a little bit safer here. Because the whole goal is to help you guys get to being able to get your first win or to get better at getting wins. All right, so this guy shoots me. There we go again. That's why splodes are so important, because I'm going to bring a structure down and then take the high ground. Once you have the high ground, I mean, just don't give it up. You know, in my opinion, that's the best way to win a fight, is to not give up your high ground. Now, unfortunately, I was forced down by the guy who sniped me. This guy's just sitting back, and he's trying to pick us both off. He's trying to snipe the kills. He's not even going to be trying to come into this fight, if I recall this correctly. Now here, I'm trying to regain the high ground. This guy isn't the best at building. I hear that the guy who's sniping clipped this guy for just about as much as he clipped me for. But I don't want to get too aggressive on the guy under me and expose myself to the sniper. So I see the sniper. He's starting to push, but he doesn't want to come over here and fight with us. He wants to sit back and try to steal some kills, and he just continues to sit right where he's at. So I'm going to try to take a couple shots on him. There we go. I took him for, what, 60, 70. Took his shields down. He's going to have to go back and try to get the heals. But I need to get aggressive on the guy under me. I have to hurry up and get rid of this guy while that guy's healing so that I can, you know, basically eliminate both of them. And that's what's so important, is when you get into fights like this, you have to prioritize certain individuals. And the guy that's further away is the less priority, because this guy below me, I mean, I don't know, he could have splodes. He probably doesn't, because he hasn't used them yet. He's not a good builder. I just want to take him out and then focus the other guy. So I hear him getting ready to tear down my base, which is why ultimately I give up the high ground, which normally I wouldn't have. I'm not trying to expose myself, though, and there it goes. So I bring him down, and now we just have one guy left. Notice, I'm not going to go and loot this guy and expose myself to the sniper. Now, if I recall this correctly, which I think I do, I think this guy just, like, disappears. I think after I sprayed him with the SMG and took down his shields, I think he just disappeared for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe he's trying to play safe to get the win as well. So I'm going to go ahead and go back over here, loot this guy, get what I can. But I'm pretty tapped on materials at this point in the game. You know, when you're down to about 20 people, I feel comfortable with about 1,000 materials, especially with the nerf and building against, you know, weapons that take down building. So I need to get materials, but I'm also really far from the circle. I don't have a jump pad or a bounce pad. I don't have any way to get there quickly. No impulse nades. So I pretty much have to make a beeline straight for the circle. Notice I keep looking back, though, because I want to make sure this guy wasn't just camping and he's going to be behind me and accidentally snipe me and just ruin all of my health, if not kill me. But I also when I'm moving across places like this, notice I continuously jump, because you never know that there could be somebody in a 1x1 on top of this mountain south with a hunting rifle, and if you're just running straight and not jumping, I mean, for most people that's an easy kill. And I've only got a little over 100 health. A blue hunting rifle, even a green hunting rifle for that matter, could easily take me out of the game. So I definitely want to keep moving. I don't want to stand still for too long, but I do need materials, so, I kind of have to manage those as well, but I'm not standing in one place too long. Now, when I get into the circle, I want to play the edge of the circle. Remember, we are playing this to try to secure the easy win, right? So I don't want to be in the middle of the circle. I don't want to be where people are rotating in. I want to be where people aren't, because the goal here is, I don't want to say camp for the win, but I don't want to be in gunfights. I don't want to get engaged and get, RPG'd or lucky sniped. I want to get down to where there's only a handful of people, and then I can clean it up and secure the win. Also, for those of you that are just tuning into this channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be making these videos at least once a week. I also have a series where I go over clips from the week previous, and I talk about how I got outplayed, what I could have done differently, and just trying to improve my gameplay and hopefully your guys' gameplay overall. So if you find value in that and you want to check those videos out, be sure to hit the subscribe button, turn the notifications on, because I've got a lot more videos coming. We're almost to the circle. I definitely want to clear my blind spots. I want to make sure that there's nobody, on this side of the hill or the other side of the hill. I'm trying to be as observant as possible. Now, I'm not going to run away from fights. If I see somebody, I'm not going to completely run the other way. That's just not the type of player I am, but I am trying to avoid those fights if possible. Because every time you get into an engagement with another player, there's always the chance that something can go wrong. You may be the better player, and you could fall. You could get fall damage. You could get sniped because somebody hears you from across the map. I mean, so many other things can happen. Now, like I said, again, this isn't because we're not going for high kill games here. We're going for secure the win. So we're playing safe. So, I mean, if I see somebody and, it's an easy kill, or I can tell that I can push up on them and have the advantage and end it pretty quickly, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, because like I said, I don't want to sit in a corner. I don't want to just weasel my way into, winning the game. I want to earn it. But I don't want to, lose to luck, if you will, or get outplayed, because every second that passes, potentially the person that could have won the game just died. So, your odds continuously are increasing with every second in the end game. So here again, I am staying on the edge of the circle. I am not going to run anywhere near the center of the circle. But at this point, I'm walking between Lucky Landing, because there may or may not be people over there. I doubt it, but you never know. So you always want to be semi-observant. Luckily, I found a big shield here, so now I'm feeling a lot more confident now that I'm going to be, 166 with 5 minis. But there again, I still am looking for a sniper, so I want to check any boxes I can, because that's going to help me secure the win. Having a sniper allows for me to get into engagements that aren't so up close and personal. So I could tell this hasn't been looted, so I want to run through it really quickly. Hopefully I can find a sniper, and then we can get a little bit more aggressive. I can maybe build a little 1x1 and maybe pick away at people. But there again, I mean, even that's being semi-aggressive, because every time you shoot that gun, anybody that's near you is going to hear it, and any semi-aggressive player is going to rush you. If I were going for a high kill game, the second I hear someone shoot, I instantly rotate towards them, because I want to try to kill them. I want to try and take their loot. It's just another person I want to take out of the game, and especially if you're playing competitive, you want every kill. So every time you shoot, just be aware of that you could give your position away. So I'm pushing to the other side. I definitely want to clear. I do not want to get shot in the back. I want to make sure that there's no one behind me, nobody that can sneak up on me and shoot me in the back while I'm, not paying attention. But of course, if somebody does show up behind you, that's why it's so important to be halfway decent with building, because you need to be able to spin a wall around and jump up on a ramp and get high ground. And one of the things I want to talk about when getting in fights like those, and I think I get into a few of those, when you get into a kind of a medium distance build battle fight where you're not actually on top of each other, but you're building towards each other, you want to try and spam them down. You want to spam them down, and while you're spamming them down, you want to take turns getting a little bit higher, not too high, and I know that sounds kind of dumb, that's kind of a fine line, but you don't want to get too high to the point to where you're 6-7 stories high, and they hit you with a rocket launcher, you fall 7 stories, take 80 damage, and then you're one pistol shot away from being dead. But anytime you're getting in those medium range battles, you want to be trying to spam them down, because not only does it stop them from building towards you and up towards you, it also kind of rattles them. A lot of people they underestimate the psychology of playing Fortnite, especially in the end game. A lot of newer players and unexperienced players, they start to get rattled. They start to get frantic when you shoot at them. Like this guy probably, as soon as I started shooting at him, he was caught off guard, and I'm going to use that advantage to push straight for him. I'm going to, spam down his walls. I'm not going to let him heal. Whenever you shoot somebody and they turtle up like that, you have to get aggressive, because they could heal, they could pop back up, and they could build better than you. I mean, there's so many other things that could happen. So when I took him, I took all of his shields away. As soon as I took all of his shields away, I knew I had the advantage, because not only did I have the high ground, but, I had so much more. So here, I think I hear somebody coming up pretty close, so I needed to get out of my turtle shell. I needed to get some protection. There again, I'm going to get my high ground. Now, I know this guy is trying to push me. There again, I'm going to protect myself, make sure I don't get shot in the back, but I'm going to keep putting pressure on this guy, strafing left to right, so I don't get sniped. I should have put a wall up to my right, because who knows, there could be somebody over there. There we go, explodes. These are broken. He tries to build, and I am going to use that time to knock him down and keep him down. I do not want him to get above me. That's the last thing I want. So I'm going to use my last C4, trying to get lucky. I know he's down there, and I need to get rid of him. I think he took fall damage, so we get into a little fight here. Luckily, I hit him for 183. That is why the heavy shotgun is so broken. I hit him for 183. Here we go. This guy has a huge advantage over me. He has high ground. I'm kind of low on health, and I don't really have an easy, effective way to get to him. So I got to play a little bit safe. I've got to get the high ground again, though. I have to be able to get high ground to level the playing field here. I'm making sure there's nobody else behind me that can snipe me. And I think I hear this guy get sniped. I think that's why I quit. Yeah. Somebody else sniped him. So I am going to try and look for that sniper. We're down to about 4 people. I've still got pretty good high ground, and I've got a pretty good base. It would take a pretty good RPG to take me down. Making sure I'm all meted up. For whatever reason, I've dropped like all of my guns, and that's where I panicked. I panicked and fought, and I dropped all of my guns. As you saw, there was no Mega back at that tree. He's kind of my primary focus. I'm going back looking for my guns. I don't think he's that good, so I'm able to do this, but it is a risky move. But I knew I couldn't really long range him with the Tommy gun, so I needed that blue hunting rifle that I've been talking about all game. So I'm going to get better guns, and because I may be here late game, so I need to have everything that I need to be able to finish the game from my location. And of course, I'm in a pretty bad position here. There we go. I'm going back for the high ground. I built a pretty good base. It would take a lot to bring my base down at this point. I mean, you'd have to spam me with RPGs. But remember, this guy's probably still over there. There he is, the Omega, and he's my primary focus. I know he's there. There's probably other players around. Shooting down the tree, super important. Some people can't build that well, and they could be camping behind a tree, so we want to bring that tree down and allow for a better visual. I notice he's not a quick builder, so he may not be that experienced, even though he is Omega. Of course, it doesn't mean much. You can always purchase those. Now, this technique is super important. I use this a lot. You want to be able to third-person peek him. Look, you want to be able to third-person peek him and be able to take the shot by uncrouching. You don't want to expose your head, and you want to be able to make those quick shots like that. That is a really good technique to learn. If you like playing with the hunting rifle, I suggest you try that. You want to stay crouched in your 1x1, and you want to uncrouch to finish the kill. You keep your cursor lined up with where they're going to be, and I think I end the game like that with these next 2 kills, actually. So I actually clean up the rest of the match. So I heard this guy sniping, over there, 144 over the mountain. I'm not really sure where he's at. There's him and one other guy. I have no idea where this guy's at, but I still want to be observant, to, look behind me. He could be under me. I think it was my biggest concern was that he was under me and maybe had C4 just waiting to end the game. So I need to find this guy that's over there and snipe him. That way it's a 1v1 and the pressure is off. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to start to start getting panicky. I know a lot of people, when they haven't been this in game very much, they start to get a little shaky, a little bit nervous. You've got to calm down, because then you're not going to make logical decisions. You're going to do things you normally wouldn't do. When you go back and review, you're going to be like, why did I do that? Which is why I do the videos where I talk about how I got outplayed, what I could have done differently. Here we go. So I saw this guy, he peeked his head, and I want to try to take him out of the game. Notice I did take out those trees. I want to try to eliminate as many trees in this circle as possible so that they cannot hide behind those. There again, I use that technique where I stay crouched and I uncrouch to snipe. It's such an easy way to take people out, because you're less likely to get sniped, and they're not going to be expecting for you to just pop up and snipe them one shot. So after eliminating this guy, I know there's only one guy left, and I don't know where he's at. I for the most part have height advantage. There's only like one or two other spots he could be in that he would have a slightly better advantage than me. But it's more likely than not that I'm going to have the advantage here, and I want to hold the high ground. I want to just stay where I am and try to figure out where he's at and then take the fight from there. What I don't want to do is I don't want to jump down. I don't want to go looking for him. Like I said, if this is high kill game, I might play it a little bit differently. I might try to go for the clips, but I'm trying to secure the easy win, so I'm trying to play safe. Now I'm out of circle, and quickly I want to reposition. Anytime I'm in a situation like this, I want to hurry up and reposition into the circle, because he's probably thinking the same thing. There he is, trying to camp behind a tree, but I want to reposition into the circle. I don't want to get into a gunfight and then be forced to push into the circle after he's comfortable and into the circle. And here we go. I'm taking the high ground, putting the walls in front of the ramp so it's not as easy to be shot down, except for I am on one ramp. I shoot down the tree. He can't hide behind it any longer, and I've got plenty of ammo, and I'm going to spam him. I'm going to take as many shots as I can. I want to rattle this cage. Like I said before, I'm going to use this crouch technique like I've been using, but it kind of backfires. You always want to use the right side advantage. Right side's always stronger in Fortnite. That's just how the camera's designed and how the camera's set up. I was a little too left so that this shot actually didn't work, and I hit the wall. I was actually pretty mad about how that happened. So there again, he's not peeking. I know he's still in there, and I'm going to be patient. I'm not going to rush him. I'm not going to try to spam him down with scar shots just to get sniped by him using the same technique I'm using. I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to wait to take the clean shots. So here we are. We're kind of in a standoff. It's me and him, and my number one goal is to remain in the high ground for one, and two, I want to rattle his cage. I want to make him so uncomfortable that he freaks out and makes bad decisions. I don't want to give him the time to think things through and maybe be able to outplay me. What I do know is that if he decides that he wants to build towards me, I need to stop that from happening. I've got to bring it down before he can. Now, if I were to push him, I would ramp up one, spam him with some shots. Ramp up another, spam him with some shots. But I don't want to go too high. Luckily, I don't necessarily have to do that, because the circle ends up being in my favor, and he actually has to come to me, which is really nice. Even if that wasn't the case, I would have probably dropped back down, because I don't want to ramp up from this high. I would have dropped back down and then started ramping up. I don't want to ramp up from already 2 ramps high. I want to ramp up from the ground level. There we go. I hit him for 90. Now I know he's got to heal. Now it's time to spam him down. He could be down probably to about 100 or 110, and I don't want to give him the time to heal, especially with the circle closing him out. I want to keep spamming him. That way he doesn't have time to heal, and he's going to have to push out and towards me into the open with only 100 health, giving me even more advantage. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stay patient. I'm not going to do anything irrational. I'm not going to, jump pad towards him. I'm not going to build up and, try to get into a big fight with this guy. I have the advantage, so I'm going to continue to use that as such. So here you can see I put the ramp up, and I get kind of sketched out. I'm like, oh, I should probably go ahead and put a wall in front of it. This guy really should have just shot me down. He shouldn't have let me sit up there like that, because now I definitely have the advantage. He could have right peeked off the ramp and got me, but luckily I